guys, it's Doesn't Matter, and
LM the Dream.
And this is episode 31 of our podcast, Confessions of a Stan Mixer Edition. Today, we are going to be going over our favorite parts of each song on LM5. We recently did Confetti, so if you're interested in that, go check it out. We are going to do these probably for all of the albums, is what I foresee happening.
Yeah, probably.
Because we just finished up the rankings, and so now we're taking a new lens to them, because I feel like in the rankings you have a tendency to like focus a bit, not you like you, but like me, have a tendency to focus a bit more on like the reason it's not number one rather than like the positives of it.
Yeah, it's very easy to like break it down more negatively than positively.
Yeah, so this is our answer to those. Starting off, we actually included National Anthem this time. We always don't include it, but we figured we always take it this time. It deserves love occasionally. All right. For me, I honestly just said like the harmonies and the fact that like it's an a cappella moment on the album. I know that it gets a lot of praise in the fandom for like the swearing and like the feminism, but to be honest, I'm not terribly. I'm not going to finish sentence. I'm just going to say I'm down for the a cappella moment.
My favorite part is the one part where they go, I think it's like thou shall be thankful and honest. I like the little harmony they do on thankful and honest. Like I know they do it like the whole time, but like specifically right there, I think it sounds cool. So that's my favorite part.
Yay. Okay. Moving on to Woman Like Me. I'm cheating, guys. If you saw the confetti one, you know I do this a lot.
I don't think I cheated on this one.
Well, good for you.
Like looking, I was like, I think this is the first time I didn't.
Well then. So I did this on Sweet Melody too. I just like the verses of Woman Like Me. That's my favorite part of the song. It's not like I like one verse over the other. I just like those are my favorite part of the song.
Yeah, Woman Like Me was really, really hard. I couldn't choose between the verses, so I settled on a part in the chorus. And it's the I like the whole chorus, but like I like the one part where it's like it like stutters and goes like whoa, 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 that part.
Oh,
I'm not singing
yeah.
it. That part.
Like I'm not doing it.
That part, I like that. And like kind of like all like the little effects on it, so like not specifically like the actual chorus, but like the little effects like production wise or vocal wise that they do with it, I like.
All right, moving on to Think About Us. I am going to say that for me, the na-na-nas are the best part of the whole song. You actually like this song though, so I'm sure this was harder for you.
Yeah, this one is one of the songs like where I don't like right off the bat have a specific part. But like I kind of settled on the okay, so in Genius it said it was the chorus, but I'm pretty sure it's the pre-chorus, but I could be wrong. It's where they go deeper in the crowd, can you feel my body now? But the second time they do it, because they have more of a harmony and like some layering happening, and I think that part sounds really cool. And so that's the one I end up going with.
All right. Moving on to Strip. All right, I'll be honest with you guys. I originally thought the answer to this was, well, okay, honestly, like there were a lot of lyrics that I wanted to initially like instinctually pick out. The top one being for like off the top of my head, like right away, is one of Jesse's verses, "The Up in the Mirror." And that's always like one of the lyrics that comes to my mind right away when I think about Strip. And it was one of the ones that stood out to me when I first heard Strip. That said, like, and we've talked about this before in different podcasts, like other lyrics in Strip that I like a lot. But as I was re-listening to the song for the purpose of this podcast, I was realizing that my favorite thing is probably actually more the vocal arrangement and the meaning of the song, like overall. Because as I was trying to like pick a lyric, I was realizing that like none of them resonate with me the way some other lyrics do. I was realizing there wasn't really like a superior lyric. I like a lot of the lyrics from Strip, but there wasn't one that like really just hit so close to home, like No More Sad Songs Bridge. And so I I don't know. So I was having a hard time just choosing, and I was like re-listening to the song over and over, and I was like, I think it's just kind of like the general vocal arrangement of the whole song, and then its meaning. I think that's what it is. I couldn't really pick. Well, I don't know. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, the part that I picked was a part that I've liked ever since it came out. It's the this one part in Leigh-Anne's verse, and it's the where she goes, "Want to talk about color? It's the skin that I'm in that I get
I
from my
love
mama."
that one.
I love it. I love how it gets like fast, and I love how it goes up. Like I love that part right there.
I love the harmony of it. I loved it live
Yes.
too. That was one of the lyric moments that was like, pick me. And I was like, I mean, yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah, I love that part.
Monster in Me is next. All right, this is maybe a weird one. Maybe not. Maybe. Okay, so for me, I'm cheating again. It's Pessy like building up the bridge, that back and forth. I really like that. Creates like a nice tension for me. And then the ending harmony of Haunting You, Haunting Me, obviously.
Oh, I'm gonna cheat. I forgot to add that in. It was in my head. Yeah, so that one. um, and then the other one I was gonna say is like it's kind of like the basic one I feel like, but it's one that I've always liked since it came out, and it's Larry's high note ad lib at the end.
All right. Joan of Arc. Full disclaimer, I struggled real hard.
Oh really?
Not because it was good.
Oh.
I realized when I listened to the studio version of this song that I really let the Joan of Arc Apple Music performance influence my opinion of this song to an unreasonable degree. Because the studio version, there's a reason I didn't like the studio version when it was a promo single, and there's still a reason that I don't listen to it. Which means that I'm going to stick with what I've always said, which is that my favorite part of it is the lyric, I don't need a man. If I'm loving you, it's because I can. I really, really like this distinction that you shouldn't be with your partner because you need them, man or woman. You should be with them like because you want to be, because having them in your life like improves your life. You should never be with someone because you need them.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Uh okay, so we're 3 for 3 for having one that I liked since it came out. I think it kind of goes off after this. Yeah. So this one is the bridge. Like I love the bridge so much. Um, yeah. I really don't have anything else to say about it. I just love the bridge. Everything about it. I like it.
All right. Moving on to Lover Girl Right. Was re-listening to this song for this podcast earlier, and I was remembering why there's a reason I don't listen to it. um, and this was kind of an issue that I had for a lot of them, but you'll be so surprised about American Boy. Okay, so
Okay.
we're not on that yet, though. So back on topic. um, basically, nothing stood out in the song to me as like something that I really enjoyed. It wasn't that I listened to the song and thought like, oh, this is awful. I just listened to it and like nothing stood out to me. Nothing was like, hey, this is cool, this is neat, I like this. And there just wasn't anything there. And I listened to it a couple different times. So then I kind of remembered that it's sampling the Thong song. And I think that that has to probably be my favorite part of it, is that it's kind of like reclaiming a song that was used to kind of degrade women as a way to be uplifting. So that's probably my favorite part about the song, personally.
I didn't realize that it was a sample. Um. Okay, so like as much as I love this song, I was kind of like you. I didn't have a part that really like kind of stuck out to me. So the part I ended up going with was at the end of the song, where it's like the dun dun, like that whole like
Oh, yeah.
thing. I like that because I think that part sounds really cool. Um, so that's the one I end up going with.
All right, moving on to American Boy. I am ready to surprise you all. Sit down, take your seats. If you have listened to, I mean, definitely the LM5 ranking, probably some other podcasts, I'm sure,
Yeah.
you will know that I do not like American Boy. Not because I think American Boy is awful, but because I'm always like, just why? Like, what is its purpose? And so I usually talk fairly not great about it. So I was re-listening to it for this episode, and you're gonna hear me say that every single time. And um, and I've always felt this way. I've just never really verbalized it because I never had a reason to be honest. But what my two kind of, and they kind of go hand in hand, I guess, a little bit. My favorite thing about American Boy is, first of all, Lee's lyrics in the pre-chorus are interesting, like because they're self-aware, and I love some self-aware lyrics. If you guys don't know this, and like she goes like, "And I don't mean to get so caught up and insecure about all the things you say, and oh, and I don't mean to be jealous. It's just careless me, boy. I must drive you mad." So this kind of like knowing that you're potentially overreacting, or at the very least, even if you're not overreacting, your reaction is not coming off the way you want it to be coming off. So I think they're interesting. I wish I liked the melody of it more, but I don't. And then the other thing that is like usually what sticks out to me when I listen to American Boy, which, and this is why for American Boy, I usually don't skip it until the chorus. And this is why. I think that the verses in the pre-chorus actually do some interesting storytelling, because whenever I listen to the verses in the pre-chorus, I kind of imagine it like a movie in my head.
Yeah.
Like if you actually pull up the lyrics, right? Like if I just read you the lyrics, right? Hang on a second, guys. Like I've done this since the very beginning, and it's why I only skip it. I don't put it on playlist, but like when it comes on random, like on shuffle, I will only skip it once it gets to the chorus. The chorus and the post-chorus personally ruined the song for me. Jesse goes, and I met him back when I was out in California, IA. He was playing in a band, and she was dancing on a stage, and he says that I'm the one, but she's the one that got away, and he never knew her real name. Oh, and I don't mean to get so caught up and insecure about all the things you say, and I don't mean to be jealous. It's just careless me. Boy, I must drive you mad. Skip the stupid whatever. And then Jade, so I want to know who's on your phone, making me paranoid, making me bad, making me sad, making me crazy, making me feel like I needed to ask. I want to know if you're at home, if you're at home, baby, are you alone? Are you alone? Answer your phone. And I don't mean to get so caught up and insecure, blah, 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 blah. And then if you take the one line from the chorus, I guess, if you want, that says, I know he thinks about her when he plays guitar. Does that not like kind of create like a movie in your mind?
It does. I never thought of it like that either.
Yeah, so I've always kind of liked that because I like storytelling, and I feel like it sets itself up well to be storytelling. I don't think that it's necessarily, I think the chorus fucks it up, to be honest. But I think the verses in the pre-chorus are nicely set up for it to be a storytelling song. That is kind of my positive things about American Boy. I know I should talk it a lot, so you guys are probably like, did she have positive things to say? And I do indeed.
The part I ended up going with for American Boy was Jesse's verse just right at the beginning. Um, I don't know. I knew I was gonna end up going with one of the verses, and so hers just kind of won. I like the way her voice sounds on it, and I like um, how it like kind of dips down at the end, like with the real name. I like that part. So yeah.
Let's see. Okay. On to Told You So. So here's the thing. Don't like that one. Which made this hard. Because it's kind of like Love a Girl, right? Where I was listening to it and nothing was sticking out to me. And what I was hoping for when I turned it on was that, like when I hit play, was that Jade's verse was going to stick out to me, because when she sang it at Apple Music, the way she sang it really like made me like, didn't make me like the song, but I really liked the way she sang her part at Apple Music. So I was like crossing my fingers and hoping that that was the studio version, even though I knew it wasn't. And so it turns out that I couldn't use Jade's solo. So instead, I had to go looking for something else. And ultimately, what I decided on was the lyric, he's never going to love you like we do. I just think like this is kind of like a really interesting line to tell a friend in a breakup. I feel like, because like I think right after is like, he's never going to find someone as good as you. I feel like that's a really common thing that you kind of get like fed, like your friends just tell you like, oh, his loss or her loss, or like they don't know what they're missing, or like you're so golden or whatever. But to say to someone like, don't worry, he's never going to love you like the way we already do, the way like we love you, you're our family, we're not going anywhere. I don't know, I feel like that's a really nice sentiment and line that isn't usually part of the breakup consolation speech, maybe, at least in
Yeah.
songs.
Yeah, that was one I never caught on to. Um, so I guess this counts as cheating. I didn't realize I cheated, but I guess like now looking at it, it's kind of cheating.
I mean, I've already cheated how many times?
So there's two ad libs that I end up going with because I mean you guys already know like this is one of my least favorite songs from them. Because I like it better live. I don't like the studio version. So it's I need to get close to my screen. Sorry, I can't see. um so Perry's ad lib where she goes, I'll hold you, and then Leigh-Anne's ad lib where she goes, he's not the one. I like those two a lot. Um yeah, it's like they're not very like they're kind of subtle, but they're not super subtle, but they're also not like huge. So I feel like it kind of just like it layers on really nicely.
Moving on to Wasabi. Okay, so this is one of my favorites off LM5. I already knew that there were going to be a few things up for contention to take favorite part of the song. So of course I cheated, and I picked a couple lyrics and then something else. So lyrics and something else. We're going to ignore the fact that the lyrics are two separate things. So first off, before we get to the lyrics, I really like the instrumental switch up on when Jesse starts to sing all the ugly things you say. Come and say it to my face. I really like that switch up. I really just love the complete change, or like the roughing up, like the distortion on her vocals. I just really like that. I think it gives the song like that, because Wasabi is actually very repetitive, so it gives it like something to keep it kind of not feeling super repetitive. And then I also my cheaty thing, my second cheating thing, is I do really like that it's a clapback, and these are the specific lyrics that I like from it. Wake up, change your mind, and drop me. Love to hate me, crazy, shady, and then love to hate me, praise me, shame me. Either way you talk about me. For like the girls themselves, my favorite lyrics would be the ones Jessie sings, because those are right like direct clapbacks to things that people legitimately say all the time. But like for me personally, these lyrics really embody like it's kind of twofold, right? I can relate to them in two ways. One is like toxic relationships with people, and then there's also the side of it where like love to hate me, praise me, shame me, either way you talk about me, of just like being a woman in the world. um it does kind of feel that way sometimes, like you just can't ever do anything right. I feel like women just get nitpicked on a lot, to be honest, and I think that's the whole kind of vibe of love to hate me, praise me, shame me, either way you're talking about me. um so yeah, anyway, for me personally it's those two. For the girls, like if I had to pick my favorite lyrics, like for the girls themselves, it would obviously be Jesse's lyrics.
So my favorite part is also Jesse's part. Um, I just love the production on that. I think it sounds so cool.
Right.
It sounds so cool. And then I specifically like the second time because at the end it's like dun, 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 like has that like little thing at the end. And I like that a lot. You should see how I have it written in here. It's just a bunch of letters. um, but yeah, that one is probably it mainly because of the lyrics, but I also really really like the production on it.
Yeah, Wasabi as a whole is a winner for me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so moving on to More Than Words. Okay, so this is one of those songs where for me, I don't like the studio version, love the live version on tour that didn't have Camille. Sorry, Camille. Sorry. So listening to it on tour, like the new arrangement of it on tour, and having to listen to it for 41 shows, because, or 40 shows, however many tour dates there were, because I watched every single one. Um, it grows on you. It's a grower. and and as I listened to it for, I don't know, the 20th time, I really started to like More Than Words on tour, the live version without Camille. So um what really happened though is that on tour, like, it's kind of more the atmosphere of it. Is I keep mentioning Camille just because I feel bad, but it doesn't really have to do with her. I mean, I do prefer their blend on it as a 4 than I do as like with her as a 5, but that's neither here nor there. On tour, in case you haven't seen a More Than Words performance, but if you're listening to this podcast, I have a feeling that you're a hardcore enough fan that you probably have. It's a blue purple kind of like misty atmosphere with like water, like rain falling down, and like this like really big echoing drums and like this huge chorus that takes over the arena. At least I assume based on the videos. You can confirm that or not.
It is.
Yep. Okay. So it comes across well in videos, and it feels huge, and it just like it really carries home the weight of the lyrics, I think, which is, I don't have them written down, but now I want to read them, so now I'm going to look them up. Oh, I need you more than words can say. Oh, you saved me in ways that I can't explain. Always been there for me. Now I do the same. Oh, I need you more than words can say. So in the studio version, they didn't really hit for me because they're fairly simple. When I saw it live 40 times, something about it in that atmosphere, like with how big that was, like seeing the girls visually do it and like their body language and like having the scene set for me with the colors and the rain, it honestly, like the coloring in the rain actually did really help me a lot because, and I said this in the iconic lyrics episode, so you guys might know what I'm talking about next, is watching that felt like a sequel to another song that I love that is not a Little Mix song. That is a song that I imagine in my own head to be about my best friend. And that one has a theme of like water and ocean and drowning. And so to see the concerts of it where water was part of the theme, the color was very like stormy. It's very beautiful. It's very big. It feels like very all encompassing. And that's what drove the lyrics home for me, listening to it live over and over. And that made it feel like a sequel to the song that I really love about my best friend. When I listen to More Than Words and I hear that chorus, that's what's always in my head. Like that's the feeling I get from it. And so I know that's technically not More Than Words, but like it is for me, if that makes sense. So anyway, that is my favorite part about it, is the chorus lyrics, in the weird way that it only hit me after it was performed live 40 times. And I related it to another song. um, but before that, before it got performed on tour, I would have said that the answer was the little cheeky references to themselves in the lyrics.
um,
Sorry, I rambled so much.
it's fine. Uh, so with More Than Words, it's like I either have to be in the mood to listen to it, like I either really want to listen to it or I'm not in the mood at all. So it's kind of like give or take with that. But I always like this one part, regardless if I'm in the mood or not, and it's the end chorus where it has the 3 ad-libs by Camille, Leigh-Anne, and Jade. And I just really like that part. I think it kind of like changes it up a little bit because we've heard the chorus like well, I don't know about a lot, but like it's kind of it's a little repetitive up to that point, and so that kind of switches it up a little bit in my opinion.
I feel like More Than Words has the chorus problem that Sweet Melody does.
Yeah.
Like, it's not too repetitive until after the bridge.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then it's just the chorus over and over. It's kind of the same problem Touch has. No one
Yeah.
hate on me for saying that. It's true. Okay. Moving on to Motivate. All right, guys. So I was listening to all these songs, as I have said, every time we've started a new song. And I got to Motivate, and I was listening to it, and I got to the first chorus, right? I got through the verse, I got through the pre chorus, I got to the chorus, and I was like, yep, still don't like this song. And I knew that there was nothing coming up in the song, no change ups that were going to help me out. I mean, I listened to the whole song all the way through, but I could already tell halfway through that I was in trouble. What ended up happening is around the middle end of the song, I wrote down in my notes, sex positivity question mark. um, and there was a question mark because I was hoping that something else in the song was going to stick out to me. But clearly, since I'm telling you guys this, there wasn't.
It's the question mark.
That's not a questioning of whether or not I support the sex positivity. The question mark of it was like, is there anything else? The answer was no. So, well, with you guys right now, I'm going to delete the question mark. Okay, there it is. And I'm going to tell you the answer to what my favorite part of Motivate is the sex positivity. Yep.
Um, Something that I don't really like about Motivate is how like sped up it is. I feel like in my head it just goes really really fast, which like I like sometimes, but I don't like it all of the time. Um, so I end up going with Perry's verse because I feel like that slows down and it's more of like the realm of what I like. Um, and it's also I just feel like it's very simple. It's very like consistent, and then it goes back into like the pre-chorus and it's like going all over the place. So um, yeah, motivates kind of like more than words. I either have to be in the mood to listen to it or I'm not in the mood. But
Mm,
I always like Perry's verse in it because it's that more of like tempo that I
it's
like.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to Notice. I really thought I was going to put down like lyrics or like the sound of it, or I don't know. I thought I was going to put down something because Notice is one of my favorite songs off of LM5. And I really thought there was like a bunch of things I wanted to put down. And then I was looking at all of the individual things I thought I would want to answer with. And then I was realizing that they weren't quite right. And then I realized that the reason why they weren't quite right is because my favorite thing about Notice is honestly just the concept of the song. And no specific lyric is going to capture that. I mean, like, sure there is, but like, it's in the chorus. But I think that the entire concept of like, let's make a 50 Shades of Grey type sounding song, right? That's very like, if you don't listen to the words, like, that's a put me on and have sex to me song. But it's such a great concept where it's about the lack of communication and intimacy in a relationship and a breakdown of, I don't know, I just think it's really interesting. It's a lot deeper than I don't know, we could say like Motivate. Even though they're both sex songs. I just like to have something a little bit more to my sex concept songs. This is not just with Little Mix, it's with literally every artist ever. It's totally fine if you want to talk about sex. Could you say something interesting about it? And I feel like Notice does. I feel like Notice tackles something interesting and different and not usually the topic of sex songs. And I think the contrast between the meaning and what they're saying in the song and the sound of it is really cool. And so that's what it is. Concept of Notice for me.
With Notice, I like the end of the bridge. Um, the I'ma make you take or not make I don't know what's going on. I'ma take off if you make me wait. That's what the lyrics are. Um, I like the whole style, I guess, if that's how you would even say it of that part. Um, like how the production is in the back, like it has like the little beats. I don't know anything about music if you guys can't tell, so I don't know like the technical terms for all of this, but I like that.
I literally like when you pointed out what it was, I literally in my head was just like imagining my music video for it, because that was how I knew what part of the song you were talking about. Because I know in that part of the song, I in the music video very intentionally like created very fast, quick, colorful cuts to contrast some of the rest of the video,
Mhm.
and so I knew exactly what you were talking about because I edited a visual to it.
Yeah, I just think it sounds really cool. Like I like that. Like that's kind of similar to how Perry's verse and Motivate is. I feel like, and so I like those two to not together, but like I feel like they give the same vibes. So yeah.
All right, moving on to The Cure. You guys should all know this answer if you listen to the other episodes of the podcast. If you don't, if you're an occasional listener or you're new, welcome. This is new for you. So, halfway through the podcast. So, okay, so I cheated. So, what's new? First off, if you listen to an episode we just did, I don't know which episode it was, but I swear an episode we just did. Maybe Ultimate Little Mix Song Ranking. I don't remember, guys. So my favorite production part of The Cure is Jesse's ad libs at the end and the panning it does in between your ears. I love that. I forget where it starts, but let's say it starts left. It goes like all the way left, like all the way right, and then like middle. It's so cool if you listen with headphones. I always listen with headphones. I'm sure you guys know this by now. I only mention it like every single episode. So the panning is really interesting. And for me, when I'm listening to the song, sometimes it will like kind of lightly drag me back into the song. That's like my favorite part production wise of the song. That being said, I have a I have issues with The Cure, unfortunate issues I wish I didn't have. With the fact that I really, really, I think we have talked about this. We might even have these issues, if I remember correctly. I just really, really wish The Cure was not written about a breakup,
Yeah.
because it really, even though the lyrics are set up to give me the opportunity to make it about what I want to make it about, which is mental health, self worth, like depression, like toxic, like I don't, not even toxic relationships. I honestly want to make it about like internal issues. And even though the lyrics technically allow me to do that, it has a severe emotional disconnect because it wasn't written about those things. It was written about a breakup, and it feels like it was written about a breakup. And I always hate that about The Cure. Like it ruins The Cure for me, to be honest. That being said, again, while I was listening to the LM5 tour for 40 days in a row, that series took me months, guys. There were just like 40 days of the tour. What I learned is that my favorite part of The Cure, outside of like that ad lib panning production, right, was Pessy's first part of the verse, not the whole thing, but the part that's I lost my faith, made my mistakes, gonna find a way to make it easy. I'll be better on my own. Believe me, pain I hold back, can't live like that. Now, there is a part of me that still doesn't love these lyrics because it sounds like a breakup. I'll be better on my own. But I lost my faith, made my mistakes, gonna find a way to make it easy. Pain I hold back, can't live like that. That stuff could be twisted to be what I want it to be. And I feel like, for me at least, that those lyrics are the closest the song gets for me to be able to bridge that emotional disconnect. That's not going to be true for everyone. That's maybe not even true for you, even though I think we do agree on the emotional disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
But for me personally, like those are the lyrics where I can bridge the best the emotional disconnect, and especially hearing Pessy sing it over and over and over again. So yeah, so for me, that's probably got to be the answer.
Yeah, I won't go too much into it because you already touched on it. But mine's almost the same part, but it's just the lyrics. Pain I hold back, can't live like that.
Mm-hmm.
I love those lyrics. Like, I know I shouldn't let like live performances sway my decisions, but I'm letting them. And I like the way Jesse sings it live, so I'm putting it in. So yeah.
I mean, did you listen to my more than words like rant?
Yeah.
Moving on to Forget You Not. All right, so this was another song where I was listening to it and I was like, oops, this is not going to go well because I know I don't like this one. And to be fair, I haven't listened to it in a really long time though. So I was like, maybe something will stick out to me. So I'm listening to it and I'm listening to it. And the only thing sticking out to me is Pessy's lower register. So that's what I wrote down. There was an interesting part and narrative switch up in the outro. I think it's Lee and Perry singing. It's definitely Lee and someone. And it's like, sorry that I had to let you go. Maybe my friends, they were right all along. Wish I knew back then, baby, what I know now. And it was an interesting narrative. It was also an instrumental switch up, which was like drew my attention. But the narrative switch up was really interesting to me as well, that they were combining them to force you to pay attention to the lyrics, because the entire song was essentially like, no matter what I'm doing or who I'm with or what my friends say, like, I'm going to just be all about you still in my head. And then the narrative switch up at the end of like, maybe my friends were right. Like, I got to let you go. Wish I knew, back then what I know now. And I thought that narrative switch up was actually really interesting. I love self aware lyrics, guys. And um, it doesn't make me like the song, but I thought it was really interesting and I kind of forgot about it. So when I was listening to it, I was like, oh yeah, I was like, forgot about this. So yeah, so those are my answers: Pessy's lower register and the narrative switch up at the end. Larry also sound really nice. I'm pretty sure it's Larry. They sound really nice with each other on that part as well.
So I end up going with the bridge. I feel like for me this song is like not very cohesive. I feel like it's very jumpy, if that makes sense. I don't know. And that's something that's always kind of bothered me about it. And so that's why I like the bridge a lot, because it comes together, like it kind of pulls itself together because it's all of them and like they've got the harmony going on. Um, and so I really like that part because I don't know, just to me it feels like more cohesive than like the rest of the song.
Oh, let's see. Moving on to Women's World. I'm ready to be unpopular and popular at the same time.
I don't know why that really made me laugh.
You're going to see why it's accurate in a moment.
Okay.
All right, guys. Okay, ready? Here's why it's popular. Perry's build up to her A5. And then that's the popular bit. The neutral bit is this next bit. And then the like pull out of the music and like the vocals and just making everything seem really empty. And then Jesse's very like quiet, soft vocal, like very emotional vocal, I think is just like so beautifully done and so powerful. So I really like that like contradiction. I really like their voices on it each. I also really like that entire arrangement of that high note for Perry. I do like the tour version better, the A5 tour version better, but I still really like the studio version. And I just think the whole thing is really nicely done. A lot of like tension and release, and I don't know, I just really like it. Unpopular, the reason why I said popular, not popular, is it's popular to say that Perry's high note is your favorite. If you guys know me, what I usually say, and if you've been listening to any of the rest of this podcast where all I've been talking about is lyrics, I usually comment on concept or lyrics for a reason. And this seems like the song to do that because it's all about equality, women's empowerment. And so it feels like that should be my favorite part of the song if I'm like a lyrics concept person, right? And I think I've definitely talked about this on the LM5 album ranking. I feel like I've talked about it somewhere else. I don't remember where. I just have some, I don't want to call them like issues, but I just don't really. Women's World and I are not the bestest of friends because I think that it's a very like label, like simple, generic, label version, brand version of feminism. There are reasons why it's like that. I know one of them is because it's written from, Jade wrote it from the perspective of her mom, which would date it a bit. I also would, I think it's probably, you could speculate if you wanted to, that there may have been some label involvement of not wanting them to go too extreme and messaging. And so there could have been some sort of issues with that. So I'm sure there are multiple reasons for why. I can confirm one, I've speculated another. Um, but for me, feminism is much more complex and nuanced, and I would have loved a song encompassing that more. And so, because I wanted more from it, I don't want to say that's my favorite part of the song. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, it's not that it's bad or anything. It's not that I don't think those are important topics, but I think that they're not worth having them be your favorite. But for me personally, it just didn't hit the spot I wanted it to hit. And so I don't want to claim it.
Mm. Yeah. No, that makes sense. I kind of end up going with like a similar part. I did the whole bridge, and it's really because I like the production on that too. um, I like the like how it just has like that build up, and then like all their vocals, like the whole arrangement with there, and they're going like just all over the place. Like I don't know, for some reason that I really like that part. Yeah, I didn't really. If you guys can't tell, I didn't have any like really in depth notes this time. I just have like the part um, written down, so I'm trying to go off the top of my head. But yeah,
We kind of swapped. Last time she had like really thorough notes and I had like legitimately like just like the part of the song. And then we switched. Now I have like more thorough notes and she has like
yeah,
just like the part of the song.
yeah. Because I thought I was gonna be able to talk about them, and then I'm like, but why? Because I didn't do these super recently. I did these like 2-3 weeks ago,
Oh yeah, that's right.
so they're not like fresh in my head.
See, I procrastinated and I did them this morning, and so I'm a flowing fountain of over talking.
Oh,
Moving on to the Cure stripped.
I forgot about that one.
It's okay. Your answer is going to be the same as mine.
Okay.
So,
Just stops typing.
so the answer is the same as the Cure, which is that Pessy lyric. For the both of us, it's pain I hold back, can't live like that. For me, I'll still claim technically the first half of the first verse. And then also, we love an acapella moment. Who doesn't love an
Oh,
acapella moment?
yes.
You know, like you're hearing all the harmonies so much better. There's also a different arrangement, a different vocal arrangement from the original, which I think is really interesting. So what I do not like is that they unpanned Jesse's ad lib at the end. I see you. Okay, we need to talk. Um. Anyway, yeah. So, am I wrong, or is that not your favorite part? Those two things.
No, it is. I
Yep.
would also add in there. I like the chorus better on the strip than I do on regular. Like I feel like it has like
Agreed.
it just sounds more powerful for some reason. So I guess I'll add that in too.
It took a while to get used to the vocoder that they left on their vocals.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to our last one, Only You. This is a song that I feel like positively neutral on, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't listen to the song, but like, if it comes on, like that's fine. The lyrics of the song kind of prevent me from really, you know, truly liking it. But that being said, like I do love an EDM beat to it. I really like the chorus. And so I was listening to the song and I was kind of like waiting for something to jump out at me and nothing really was. And it wasn't because I thought it was awful or I didn't like it. There just like wasn't one thing really, like standing out to me. And then I got to the end and I was kind of like, I think the thing that stands out to me that's my favorite part is that the girls are actually singing. I don't know if it's more than one guy or if it's one guy in cheat codes. And there's only three of them. I don't know if only one of them sings. But I actually really enjoyed having him singing with them. I
Mhm.
thought it was actually like really interesting to listen to. And I always find it, I don't know, kind of soothing. Like just the way the song is set up and stuff. I don't feel like it overpowers the girls or anything. And I don't know, I just think it's nice because usually the girls collab with rappers. And so it's just kind of like the rappers do their thing. The girls sometimes harmonize over them or under them or do a little ad lib, but there's not really anything else to it. So for them to actually be singing together was really interesting, and I think that's my favorite part.
Yeah, Only You is like one of those songs where I don't necessarily really like the song, but I have a lot of little parts that I really like. So I'm cheating.
Welcome.
um, Me at the beginning. I don't think I'm cheating this time. I was
I know, I
clearly
was gonna
wrong.
say. I was like,
Clearly
hmm.
wrong. um, so yeah, I like the part where he sings with them. I think that sounds really cool. We normally don't get to hear that. Um, I like Jesse's verse a lot. I'm really trying to not let the acoustic overpower this. Um, but regardless of that, I really like her verse, especially with the acoustic.
You mean the unplugged though?
I always say acoustic, but I mean the unplugged version.
Yeah, she's not talking about the acoustic studio version. She's talking about the Apple Music
No.
unplugged.
Yeah. I always do that. Whoops. But yeah, I like that. And then I like the part in the chorus where it's like the second chorus, I believe. I didn't write it down, but I'm pretty sure it's the second chorus where Jade has like all the ad libs afterwards. Um, I like that. I think that sounds kind of cool. And just like gonna double check there's nothing else for me to add in because I have a lot of little parts. I want to make sure I'm not missing any. Oh, I like the way Lee's voice sounds on her part. I think that's really cool. So I have like a lot of small little bits in that song that I like. So yeah, I definitely cheated that one, but oh
It's fine.
well.
I did too. All right. So those are our favorite parts of the songs off of LM5. I think I rambled quite a bit. We'll see how much of the rambling you guys actually hear, like what makes it into the edit. Any kind of final thoughts?
um, I don't know. I will say this album was harder to do than Confetti. I don't know why.
Yeah, switching from doing like specifically being like this girl's part and then switching to like, because I think I like very rarely called out a specific girl really this whole album.
Hmm.
It was really weird to like, because I initially went into the LM5 thinking like, okay, like listen to the girls' parts, decide which one you like best, and then I was realizing like, I don't. um, and so then I had to kind of like take a step back, relook at it from a different perspective, and like try again. And so that made it harder for me.
Yeah, I think too for me what it was is that like Confetti is still new in like the Little Mix world, so those are like my favorite parts from the beginning, but LM5's been out for a few years, so it's like the favorite parts that I had aren't exactly the same as what they are now. And so I'm like, oh, like kind of trying to figure out like is it still the same? um
Yeah.
so that was kind of hard too.
But this was definitely interesting. I like that we're doing these.
Yeah, this is fun.
All right. Let us know down below your favorite part of each song in the comments. Remember to please be respectful of us as well as the other people in the comment section. And we will see you guys next week.